All right, back with HQ and breaking news as the NFL free agent market begins to unfold, specifically that defensive back market after the Giants came to terms with James Bradbury, formerly of the Panthers. The Dolphins getting cornerback Byron Jones, ex of the Dallas Cowboys. Ian Rapoport of the NFL Network first to report it's a deal worth more than $17 million per season on multi-years. Let's get some insight on this as the Miami Dolphins look to beef up and add some talent to that defensive backfield. Alongside Joe Musso, I am Jim Basquil, and lots of free agents going off the board quickly here. The Dolphins, who made a deal with guard Eric Flowers 3 for $30 earlier in the day, getting Byron Jones, ex of the Cowboys. Let's get some insight from our men in Florida, Pete Prisco and Brady Quinn. Gentlemen, this is a player that has a lot of skills. The numbers not necessarily there. What was your perspective on the money and them landing this type of talent?
Well, Pete, it's good that they've now got the two highest paid cornerbacks in the NFL on the roster, Xavier and Howard, and now Byron Jones, who's far surpassing Howard's contract. If it is that $17 million per year, Howard's staying at $15 million per year. But I think the thing that stands out to you and why this is a good fit for me is really the versatility of Byron Jones. He's played cornerback, he's played safety. Brian Flores comes from that New England tree. You know he likes to be able to plug guys in different spots and not give those coverage indicators to their opponents.
I love this move by Miami. Look, he's the best corner on the market. He didn't play as well as they would have liked last year, so there is that against them. But I think when you look at the Dolphins, they clearly need an upgraded corner, and like you mentioned, he can play inside. He was a good safety. In fact, I think he's a better safety than he is corner, with more value at the corner position. But I like the move by Miami. But this really puts a damper on the defense in Dallas.
Right.
I mean, you lose him, and he's your best corner. You're probably going to lose Anthony Brown, your nickel corner, and all of a sudden Dallas has a major need at the cornerback position.
Well, and the interesting thing about that is we thought there was a chance that maybe if they franchise tag Dak, would they work out a deal with Amari Cooper, or could they work something out with Byron Jones? How could they make it so they all three could stay? Because Dallas wanted to try to keep all three. But unfortunately for Byron Jones, they didn't want to go higher than $13 million as far as the average annual salary. And as you can see, he was able to get $4 million more per year with this deal with the Miami Dolphins, so he's able to cash in. But to your point, that's going to be a big struggle now for that secondary and trying to replace some key pieces of guys who've helped him out in the past.
The Raiders were in the bidding for him and lost out to him. I think they turned to Chris Harris now with the Denver Broncos. He will have other opportunities as well, but Chris Harris
staying within the division.
Yeah, could have an opportunity in Oakland.
Yeah,
or Las Vegas.
You mentioned those opportunities elsewhere, where this leaves the Cowboys. The Eagles were in on early talks with Byron Jones. Where is the cornerback market right now after this marquee chip goes off the table?
Chris Harris becomes the next guy on everyone's list. I mean, he's a little bit up there in age, but he's still playing at a really, really high level. In fact, when you said Byron Jones is the best cornerback in this free agent class, I would make the argument that Chris Harris is a better cornerback, but Byron Jones might be more coveted for his
for the next couple of years. Chris Harris will be a better player.
But that's the thing is, for Chris Harris, he's got to be smiling because right now he's got not only Philly, who they know that's a need for him. Obviously, Dallas is going to be looking at trying to upgrade. You talked about Las Vegas maybe now being in the mix for him.
Chiefs
are going to be in the mix as well. So there's a bunch of teams now clamoring for the services of a guy that can still get it done in Chris Harris. So it's a good thing for him, but I think after Chris Harris starts to drop off a little bit.
Well, both Chiefs corners, Rashad Breeland is a unrestricted free agent, as is Kendall Fuller, who moved to safety at the end of the year. So there are still some guys out there, but Chris Harris right now is probably top of the market.
Gentlemen, how about asset allocation for the Dolphins? You guys mentioned Howard, now Jones. This is a player over the last 5 years, 2 total interceptions. What's your thoughts on the Dolphins investing big on that position, cornerback?
I don't have as big of an issue with it. I mean, for starters, we still need to see the details, right? The devil's in the details as far as what really truly is the commitment for the Dolphins to both Xavier and Howard as well as Byron Jones. Typically, these extensions, these deals, as we see them, at most, they'll have 3 years of guarantees built into them. And that's usually only safe for a quarterback. For a cornerback, it's probably about 2 years, and then it's let's see. And that's where the team then has control in those remaining years. And the cap hit, if they had to move on from him, isn't quite as much. So until we're able to see the details, we don't necessarily know. But in a passing league, look, you got to either have the edge rushers up front or you got to have the guys in the back end that can cover. And clearly, Brian Flores wants to have a secondary like the one that was able to really help New England this past season get off to such a good start.
And they added Shaq Lawson in free agency to help the pass rush. I think the Dolphins are doing some good things. And like I've said all year long, if I'm a GM, I want all those picks and all that money. I'll rebuild that team because I think there's an opportunity to really turn the thing around quickly. You get 2 corners like that. By the way, do they think Tom Brady's coming back? Is that why they do that? I mean, maybe Brian Flores came from that New England team. Maybe he has inside information. But I think this is a great move. You lock up the corners. You get the pass rusher in Lawson, and now you can start spending wisely in free agency. You don't have to go crazy. And then in the draft, you have a boatload of picks.
You got a boatload of picks, and that's also where they continue to build for the future. Let's not forget, too, though, there is a spending floor. Miami's added a little bit of additional cap space. That is something now that you have to start thinking about if your team's, given that that's one of the changes in the CBA. That was notched up a little bit. Now they have to spend 90% of that cap over a 3-year or 4-year period, depending on when that hits within the CBA.
Should be interesting to see what that Dolphins defense looks like come summertime. Pete Prisco, Brady Quinn bringing us the latest from a free agency frenzy. Fellas, we appreciate it. All right, here is a look at that Dolphins defense from a year ago in 2019. Bottom of the barrel in more ways than one. Points per game, letting up a league worst 30.9 points per game. Not going to win many ball games that way. 262.4 yards per game on defense. Not the worst in the league, but bottom third, no doubt, and opposing passing touchdowns. If that's where you're targeting, with Byron Jones getting better in that department, hopefully they did. They gave up 39 last season. Can't get much worse than that. Hey, still to come, we got plenty more player perspective coming on the signing of Byron Jones with the Miami Dolphins. Bryant McFadden joins us here on HQ.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.